Hi everyone, it's myself. Hi everyone. Um Catriona here again for our live chat, Live from Scotland chat. Again, live from my living room area. Um from isolation in Scotland to your living room, wherever you are in the world right now. Um Today's chat is going to be centered around the Vikings. It was brought up yesterday. So I thought I would chat about the Vikings today, um, and their significance in Scottish history and obviously our landscape, our place names, and so on. So first of all, again, just like to say best wishes to you all. Hopefully you're all at home, safe, as we get through this terrible virus together. And hopefully we'll get through this period by discussing wonderful Scottish topics. So, first of all, we just want to go into a little bit about who actually the Vikings were. So the Vikings were Norse of descent. So they were all from the Scandinavian countries, which are primarily Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Iceland, and who did I forget? If I've forgotten anyone, let me know. So that's who we refer to when we're discussing the Vikings. They were kind of like how we would describe, they were kind of like tribal almost at the beginning, and they had a number of different kings, and they started to obviously fight amongst each other and expand their king from that point. And they were very, very successful in doing that. So that's who the Vikings were. Let me just get some really cool things, because I think I can actually share my screen with you guys. One of my favorite channels for kids is Horrible Histories. It was actually a program on the BBC that came from books. And one of the things that they did cover was Vikings. So I thought it might be a bit of fun to share one of these Viking videos with you all. Here we go. Just bear with me. I will see if I can share that with you all. Here, this is one of my favorite Viking videos. Just bear with me a second. There we go. So I'm going to share this screen. And here we go. I'm giving this a wee shot. Here we go. Hi, Donna. I'm just having a wee shot here to see if we in fact can share the screen. Here we go. So this is a new, let's see. I'm just having a wee shot. It's moving this. There we go. There we go. So this is one of my favorite little videos. So enjoy it. They're not showing. Well, just just me partying. It must be a YouTube thing. That's annoying. Can you hear it? So you can't even hear it? Okay. Well, the test is now ended. Um, let me see if I can actually share this video with you in the comments. Here we go. There we go. Can you see it now? Or can you still see me? It's so weird. This is when technology doesn't work. It was showing me that it was sharing with you guys, so there you go. There we go. So now I'm back. Now I can see myself. So let me just do that one more test because it might just be a YouTube thing. Because of different rules and regulations. So let me just see if I can get this up for you guys. And see if maybe I can share this because this, is a bit of a test night because I think as we move forward, it would be quite good if we could actually see things with one another. And I can show you things so you can actually see it and not just me partying, as you said, Taylor. So here's a cool website. So what I'm going to do is see if I could share this just now. Here we go. Share. So let me know if you can see this now. Can you see that link that I just shared? Sorry, the screen. It should say Sons of Vikings. If not, Facebook sucks. Hi, Jackie. Can you see it, Donna? Can you see it? Amanda, hi. It's so weird that you can't see it. Helmut, can you see it? Very strange. I'm going to try one more thing. And just forgive my initial nonsense. It might be something that I am doing here. So I'm going to stop sharing this page. Just give me a wee second. And hopefully this might actually work. So I just need to stop that. Come back here. Okay. So we're no longer doing that. So let me just see if, yeah, looks fine. So I'm going to try this one more time. And if it still doesn't work, let me know. I've actually got someone here who can actually see. For some reason, it's probably something I'm doing, guys, because technology doesn't always work with me. So let me try one more time. Let's see. So we're going to share my entire screen. Okay. Right, guys. I'm going to go from the top.
They're counting on you.
Again. And see. How are we doing there?
I'm posting a 10 seconds.
Can you see it now? There we go. No. Nope, it's still showing. Okay, it's not working. Okay, let's stop sharing. Yeah. It should be. There we go. Okay, so I'm not doing this now. There we go. So it looks like it's not going to work. You're just going to see me dancing to myself. So I think what I'm going to start doing, folks, for people who are interested, is a small little video here. It seems that Facebook does suck and is not sharing. It's telling me it's sharing the screens from my end, but it's not at all. So I think we're just going to leave it there and just carry on with what I was going to chat about. And hopefully, if you're interested, I'm going to start doing smaller little sort of webinar things that I know work a bit better. If there's some kind of topic that you are more interested in. So that's the plan. But anyway, let's get back to the Vikings. And basically what we were mentioning before was, here, this is,
What's the silver of 7, 9,
can I just go back
when
to
we sail across the great
this is what Helmut was trying to show.
Must have known something wasn't
I'm just going to put it in the comments. And then hopefully you guys can listen to it a bit later on. Hopefully. It's in the comments anyway, guys. If you want to see that really hilarious Viking video, kind of joke on a Queen video, watch it. It's really funny. It goes into how the Vikings actually started and were established. So I had this whole big thing set up for you tonight. It'll work much better in a webinar setup. It looks like Facebook is still not quite there yet, and maybe I'll do a couple more tests, but yeah, it seems that it's not quite there. So yes, the Vikings basically, Very similar setup actually to the way that the Celts were. You have kind of more tribal setups, as you would imagine any kind of ancient system. They get a bit big for their own boots and they start expanding out. They were known traders. They had weird, or what we would consider weird traditions. Nowadays, they had a runic sort of language that they took everywhere. It's kind of symbols that they used to write down, but most of what they recorded was in song that was passed down and passed down and passed down. That's how you would recognize someone such as like Eric the Red or Ivan or Ivan the Black or whatever. Olaf the Bloody. So there were lots of different identifiers. They had their version of heaven, as we all know, was Valhalla. And you went there if you died in battle valiantly. If you weren't, if you died by natural causes, you wouldn't go there. You typically lived in longhouses. They took that model around with them wherever they went. They were fairly clean, actually. They used to comb their hair and, braid their hair in different styles. And this whole idea of them wearing horns and things is more of a myth than the actual facts. But so they went around conquering different places in Ireland and in England. So there's a lot of history with them going around, and that's what we typically associate with the Vikings, basically killing monks. That changed to being a more trading sort of setup. They were notorious traders, and then they were quite peaceful from that point. So in Scotland, we have a slightly different relationship with the Vikings in the sense that they did not manage to completely conquer Scotland. In fact, they tried a couple of times, and it didn't always go down very well for them. Their last attempt at conquering Scotland was down the road from us here at Largs. It's known as the Battle of Larks. It happened in 1263, where Hakon the Fourth, who was the King of Norway, attempted to invade Scotland, and Alexander the Third and his army were nearby sleeping, and were alerted to the Vikings coming off their boats barefoot, crying out in pain as they stood barefoot on the thistles. That alerted the Scots to their howls and yowls. They ran down, met the Vikings at the beach, had a bit of a skirmish. The Vikings fled, retreated back to their ships, and went back to Norway. En route, King Hakon actually died. You've got, that was the last attempt, and we have what we call the Treaty of Perth thereafter. So I'll just explain the Treaty of Perth to you in a bit more detail. Scotland, here we go. So the Treaty of Perth was brought about peace between Norway and Scotland, settling their respective territorial claims. Scotland gained the Hebrides and the Isle of Man, compensating Norway with a sum of 4,000 marks, together with an annual fee of 100 marks payable in perpetuity, while Norway's sovereignty over Orkney and Shetland was confirmed. The treaty was concluded between the nobles of Magnus VI of Norway, 1238 to 1280, and King Alexander III of Scotland, 1241 to 86, and signed in Perth on the 2nd of July, 1266. The division of treaty had been in dispute for many years, with Kintyre proving a particular problem. However, Magnus's father, Hakon IV, had lost the Battle of Larks just 3 years earlier, giving the Scots the upper hand when the son sued for peace. The route towards the treaty was probably paved by a monk, Reginald of Melrose, while its terms were finalised through negotiations which took place directly with Alexander III in Perth in 1265 and 1266. Magnus's representatives were Chancellor Ascatin and Andros Nicholson. The treaty was renewed and ratified in Inverness on the 29th of October 1312. So that's basically the Treaty of Perth. And it finally ends with the Scots were slow to pay up, with the last instalment of 4,000 mark payment not reaching Norway until 1282. It is not known exactly when the annual payments were suspended, but the Norwegians are known to have had difficulties collecting money owed during the 14th and 15th centuries. The debts were eventually written off as part of the marriage agreement between James III and Margaret of Denmark and Norway in 1468, which ceded Orkney and Shetland the Scottish crown. So there you have it, a wee bit of random information there for you. And you can actually go and see Margaret, her grave in Cambus Kenneth, the ruins of Cambus Kenneth Abbey, as well as her husband, James III. So that's just a wee bit of random information there for you, just how that all ended between us. I wanted to share a wee bit of more information regarding obviously Shetland and Orkney, who both still have very strong Viking ties, in particular with Shetland. Every year they still have the Paleo Festival, and they very much see themselves as a Viking islands or set of islands. So if you do go to Shetland, you will get a sense of Viking Scotland, that kind of mix together. And the same if you go to Orkney to some degree. If you come down through Scotland, it's particularly from Caithness down the west coast, you've got the Outer Hebrides. The Vikings also had settlements along the Clyde region as well. You've got settlements on Arran, on Bute. The Govan Stones here, not too far, have Viking symbols. So you have this really strong Viking establishment within Scotland, even at Luss as well, and Loch Lomond, which was really interesting for us to see how the Vikings, how they lived in Scotland as well, because one of the Scottish kings had said to the Vikings, you can settle wherever you can bring a boat around. So the Vikings got very fly and actually put wheels on their boats, and that is how they believe that they got to Loch Lomond. So there's a lot of Norse words and connections across Scotland. If you've heard of the word tarbert, it's an Old Norse word which means where they bring the boat across. So that goes back to the Viking roots. A lot of, practically the whole island of Lewis has Viking connections from sorry, that's just my cat. he's obviously wanting in somewhere. That's just terrible, isn't it? So you've got all of that, but also you can see, particularly in the Cowal region, I actually got a friend of ours, Agiv, who is very much involved in the Argyllshire Gaelic. He knows the Cowal region of Scotland very well, and he has this great bit of folklore about the Vikings in Glendaruel area of Argyll, which is in Cowal. So if you go there, it's one of the most scenically and most beautiful parts of the country, actually. And we sometimes go there. There's a church there called the Kilmodin Church where you can go see old knight stones. You've also got the Clan Lachlan or MacLachlan. So if you know any Lachlans or MacLachlans, that's where your ancestral seat is, right there. So you can go see the castle. the old castle Lachlan, and there's a new castle Lachlan. You've got the old church there, which you can see where just before Culloden the clan met, because they were Jacobites. But I'm just going to play out Agav's recording. He very kindly did this for me tonight. So if you don't know Agav is his full name, as you might have known, any Outlander fan, he's Agav O'Brien. And he was the Gaelic consultant for Outlander, but he is a particular expert in the Argyllshire Gaelic dialect, and does Gaelic lessons and classes and things like that, as well as tours. So if you're looking for a tour, in particular of that region, he's a really good resource and chap to take you around. And he's the chap who comes along to the Outer Hebrides with myself, as well as Mull. So I'm just going to play Agav's chat and enjoy.
So the story goes that the Danes came ashore in Cow Bochrual and gave battle to the local clans. I believe this is the 10th or 11th centuries, sometime during that era. And the battle took place at Bellachandrown Bridge. And the Danes were very decisively defeated by the Cow folk. And it was said that you could walk from one side of the river Roal to the other on the bodies of the Vikings. The Viking leader, Mechan, was supposed to have had a golden sword, according to local lore anyway. And he was killed in the battle, and then he was interred at a place called Craignahanloch, just on the west shore at the head of Loch Roal. And there's a rock that's engraved there in relatively modern times, and it's now called Mechan's Grave. And the name Craignahanloch is little known in the area, of course, with nobody speaking Gaelic anymore. But that's how the lore goes. And Glandarual, the glen at the head of Loch Roal, is Glan and Darrual, the glen of the two river rules, or the two rivers rule. Apparently there was two rivers there at one time that I presume that they became one. The river course changed and they became one river. But apparently the river was dyed red with the blood of the defeated Vikings, and this is why it has a red hue. But apparently there's reddish sediment that comes down from the hills, and that's the real reason why the river rules is kind of reddy coloured. But anyway, that's the local lore about the battle.
There you go. So what Agav is talking about there is the battle. I'm just going to get this up. There's a gravestone just near Glendaruel there, called Mechan's Grave, and you can go down. Apparently it sits down by the mud flat, opposed to on the hill, the crag that people have associated it to, but you can go down and find it. Let me just get it so I can just post the official Canmore link for you guys, just to have another wee look at it. But I love finding little places like this that you wouldn't necessarily always know about and find. And I was always told whenever I went to Glendaruel that it was called Glendaruel because the river ran red with blood. Nobody knew exactly. It's one of these battles that even when you go and search for the historical information, a lot of it is speculative, and they can't. It's inconclusive. They don't know exactly what happened or what transpired. All they really have is from the folklore and from the stories being passed down from generation to generation. And I think the first time it was mentioned really officially was in the 1870. Is the first time it was mentioned. So I'm just going to put this into the chat, and I hope you guys will at least enjoy yourself reading. There's a really nice website with some pictures which I just posted, and if you click on the Canmore link, it's just here, and it's quite interesting because when you go into the information on Canmore, which is the official website for the historical sites, is managed by Historic Environment. It's the National Record of Historic Environment Scotland, which is our kind of historic body in Scotland. It does mention that one moment that it's of doubtful antiquity. So, that's what a lot of these things are. And Helmut's just found a book, which I don't know if you can actually maybe find on Amazon, can you?
Probably. I bought that at Finlagan.
This was purchased because I know, Lauren, you've just put in there to contact Clandonald. This is a book which is specific about the Lords of the Isles, which obviously they were of Norse descent themselves. And this was purchased at Finlagan on Isla, which is one of our favourite islands. I'll just post that Canmore link there for you all. As you can see, it's a really beautiful book. I don't know if you can see that there. And it just shows you Dalriada, the kingdom of Dalriada during that time. So it also includes Isla, so that's Isla right there. And Dunad Hill Fort is where you can go up and put your foot into the mark where the kings of Dalriada are said to have been crowned, if you like. So, no, we have quite a bit about it, and it's a beautiful book, actually. And I know I'm kind of going a wee bit off-piste here, but if you can get access to this, it's called The Lords of the Isles and the Roots of Scotland. And I'm just seeing if it actually has who it was written by. So this one is actually by the Finlagan Trust. Copyright of Myrick Mackenzie, 2018. So I'm just going to have a quick look to see if I can find this, because if anyone's interested, it's an absolutely fantastic book. And it's just very well done. Little bits and pieces as you go through. There's some lovely pictures of the Viking ships in here. We've got a lot about Isla, and we love Isla. But we've got some about Angus Moore MacDonald, who was also known, hold on a minute, he was, Angus Ock, who was one of Bruce's pals. Yeah, in 1314, Angus Ock. If you go to Bannockburn, you will see that. You can see all the stuff that they've managed to find at Finlagan. It's a beautiful book. Anyway, let me just get this back for you. I might be able to just post the link in the comments, and then you can go and batter on and see why we love Isla so much, because it was Isla was the kind of centre for the Lords of the Isles. It's where he kept his fleet, etc. So it was a very important part of the Gaeldom, and also from the Norse connections and the MacDonalds. So here we go. So I'm just going to post this into the box here. There you go. If you have a wee look, it's a really beautiful book. Really recommend it. We love Isla anyway.
I recommend going to Ireland, going to Finland.
Yeah, just go. Yeah, that's Helmut's correct. The moment you do get a chance to travel, one of our favorite things to do is to take people to the island of Isla. And we can actually physically go to Finlagen and the places that you can see in that link. But there is an incredible Norse connection there. And as well, if you come with us on our Hebrides tour, a lot of the places are also have strong Norse connections, and a lot of the language and the dialect on the island has mixed with the Norse and the Gaelic. So it's a really amazing mix of language. So yeah, basically the butt of this is that the Vikings didn't manage to conquer Scotland, but they did settle in certain pockets. And if you have any Viking heritage, you can come to Scotland and go to those particular parts. You might find a bit of kinship there. Certainly in January. So hopefully this period all blows over. But we'll see in January is when they have the Paleo Festival, which is what I mentioned in Shetland. Again, I'm just going to post this in. I had all these things open for you folks, and I do apologise that it just didn't work. But this is a fantastic annual festival that they have on Shetland. And they all dress up and burn boats, and it's a fantastic event. I've just posted that as well for you. So hopefully you can go and have a wee peek at that. But yeah, what the plan will be, I tried to be a bit more intricate today, as I mentioned before, a bit more in depth about certain things, and tried to share my screen with you. And Facebook is supposed to do that, but clearly it wasn't working. It might be something that I'm doing wrong. I don't know. But I will be looking to do more intricate things on a more webinar basis. So if people would like to join a more in-depth session where you can see all these different things and hopefully learn a bit more about Scotland in a more interactive way, please let me know. This one didn't work out as much as I would like, but yeah, I think you got a lot of the Viking history nonetheless. So let me just come back into what I wanted to mention. And all my funny videos are no longer possible. But what I did want to say was yesterday, for some reason, Facebook, I think, hasn't been exactly working entirely, because our video and our daily photo challenge, for some reason, didn't seem to share here. But if you were on our Instagram, you would have seen that the answer was almost impossible. So you guys were all so cocky yesterday, so I decided to make it really difficult. And in actual fact, the answer was the steps of Inverary Castle. So the castle, Clan Campbell Castle. So let me just see if I can show you all. If you can see that. There we go. And if you're not on our Instagram page, go and have a wee look. I will be posting the next one a bit later tonight, and you can have a wee look at that in the meantime. But for now, thank you all so much for your patience. It was a little bit here and there. Tomorrow, we'll get back down to the ghost stories, and we won't need to do any screen sharing for that one. And I will announce tomorrow the dates for our specific webinars as well. So again, guys, thank you for your time. Thanks for joining in. Maybe I'll just have a wee party at some point as well. Maybe on Saturday night we can have a wee joint party, and we'll see if we can share each other's screens. We'll see how that goes. But thank you all for taking part. See you tomorrow night. Good night. Best wishes. Stay safe. Stay home. Take care.